Hey everybody, it's the Racetrack Ladies.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight? We just finished watching the Sharpie 500 from Bristol.
Yeah, which was normally a very exciting race.
Yeah, not so
tonight.
Well, there were parts tonight that were exciting, and there were parts tonight that were like very humdrum.
Well, and I have to say, I always love it when the kids sing. What's the national anthem?
National anthem.
I love it when they do that.
I was looking for Ella, Jeff Gordon's daughter, but I did not see her.
I don't think she knows the words yet.
Well, she's 2 years old. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you know.
Anyhow, so the race, so Mark Martin was on the pole. It's his 1,000th career start or something.
Yeah, and you know, Bristol is pretty well known for doing a card trick that has some kind of a message on it, and they had something on there about Mark Martin and his 1,000th start.
You said the 1,000
mark.
Yeah, I said the 1,000 mark.
That's what she just said.
No, it's not.
Listen to me, people.
Okay, we know.
Anyhow, so he starts the race. Blah. Okay.
And he went back. Ooh, where'd you go?
But so, who was leading in the beginning?
Greg Biffle,
the Biff man.
And you know what? We all commented at the beginning of the race that, oh my God, they were driving like crazy drivers. It was like it was the last lap.
It was like they were actually racing.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Real racing.
Yeah, so that was actually kind of nice.
They were kind of all over the place.
They were.
And then...
What?
Dun, 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 dun.
It got boring.
Well, there was this stretch, I think, when Mark Martin took the lead.
And you all
Jimmy
started
Johnson.
playing Mafia Wars.
Well, not me.
And before all of that happened, Tony Stewart at the beginning of the race was trying to find Ryan Newman on the radio because he wanted to talk to him. Okay, that's what he does.
Blah, blah.
Well, then he had no radio communication with Darian. The radio was out. I could hear Darian, I could hear the spotter, but I couldn't hear Tony.
But we could hear Jeff Gordon really well.
Okay, I didn't care about Jeff Gordon. I cared about Tony and his car.
But let's talk about...
It was a mess.
Hello, you're too short for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
And I got smoke,
So let's talk about some of the drivers. Okay, so, you know, the big drivers were starting in the back, like Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon...
Carl Edwards.
All starting in the back of the
Denny
pack.
Hamlin was back there too.
Yeah.
Denny was back
so,
there.
you know, so Jeff Gordon had actually a pretty doggone good run. He had gotten up into the top 10, was running 9th.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, then he got into Denny Hamlin,
and then
all of a sudden, and that was it.
Well,
so Jeff Gordon, the hope was that he did run well, except for that little incident, then he never came back. And blah, blah,
and
blah.
like Tony Stewart never came back.
Tony Stewart, because he couldn't like talk to anybody to make adjustments.
Okay,
he couldn't get the car started.
It's Bristol and it's a short track. And Tony's supposed to be sticking his hand out the window on the A-post, the top of the car, the door, and he's trying to turn the wheel at the same time.
I think he was doing the chicken dance.
Oh my Lord! And then
I think Tony was being hard-headed tonight.
No, then they started throwing radios in the car, trying to get him to
because he wouldn't listen.
Well, Tony said at the end of the evening that with all the wires in there, he actually learned how to basket weave.
Okay, yeah, and so anyhow, he finished down how many laps? 11 laps.
He was 11 laps down
because it was a whole communication thing.
He ended up a Denny Hamlin down.
That was funny.
Okay, that was kind of funny.
Anyhow, but okay, so let's talk about some good drivers. So Marcus Ambrose, finished 3rd tonight.
The man from down under.
You know, I think he's actually going to be a force to contend with at some point.
He said.
Now, some bad luck, though, I thought, was for Juan Pablo Montoya.
Oh, man.
Where did he finish?
He finished, like, back of the pack because remember, he was down, like, 2 laps. Because
he was.
He had to pit after some, you know, altercations on the track. He had a little right rear go down. Or left rear. One of those rears. He had a rear go down. I hate it when that happens.
Well, and
so he was just right behind Jeff Gordon.
And you can't talk about a bad night without talking about Clint Boyer.
Oh. His Cheerios were all mixed up.
Yeah.
But you know what I liked about his interview?
Oh, Lord.
That a great
She liked him walking away.
Oh, my
That was
Lord.
a nice shot from behind.
Nice shot.
I think he's dyed his hair to blonde.
I don't care.
Well,
give me that shot anytime.
And it could have been the sweat from the inside of the car.
I don't want to hear
that. Well, his hair color. You know how your hair looks
okay, that's what she's talking about.
But that walk was just a walk down the tunnel.
I didn't know where she was going. Hair or backside?
Okay, so let me just say, I thought that the race was Jimmy Johnson's to win.
Well, and I think Jimmy thought that as well.
But you know what?
Somebody forgot to tell the crew.
It wasn't, and I was glad.
Okay, simmer down now.
Well, but Jimmy Johnson actually had the best car.
Yes, he did. But his problem was on pit road when the
Yeah.
jack man dropped the jack too soon, didn't get the lug all the way on there.
I hate it.
So the tire fell. So
You know what happened?
He had to come back in.
He had to come back in.
Now,
No,
Jimmy,
they were canalsed out of the race as the winner.
Okay.
yeah, so that happened to him. And then what else? Oh, then there was Kyle Busch. Okay, so Kyle Busch.
Wait,
What?
the brothers Bush.
Oh yeah,
The
brothers
beginning
Busch.
of the race. Did y'all
It wasn't
see
quite
that?
the beginning. It was
It wasn't
somewhere
the
like
beginning. It was
in the
like
middle.
into it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's
And,
play Mafia
They're like
Wars.
little
Yeah,
boom
I
boom.
told you.
They were doing little boom boom pow.
Take that.
Hey, back off, sister.
That chicken jack in my style.
Hello.
Okay, so,
I loved it, and I was like, Kurt, give it to him.
That's
you
right.
Had this game
Who cares?
Like
Yeah.
50 points with zero
Sibling
respect.
nothing. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Loved
So,
it.
but Kyle Busch ends up winning the race. Now, I have to say that Kyle Busch has really kind of turned over a little bit of a new leaf. You know, after the incident last night in the
After the
nationwide race.
come to Jesus meeting they've had.
I'm
He's a
telling
little
you,
nicer.
Joe Gibbs whacked him in the head with
I
that
tell
book.
you, being out of the chase has really helped him be a little bit more humble.
Oh, can we talk Jeff Gordon, Dale
Well,
Earnhardt? It all happens to you
And at
eventually.
the end of the
Yeah.
race, when
Tony
Kyle went to
Stewart.
go get the flag,
He gave it to somebody to
he
stand.
handed it to a fan.
Because you know what? You are not all that in a bag of chips.
No, he's all that in a bag of M&Ms. Just saying.
Not even
that was pretty funny.
Peanuts. So Kyle Busch wins. He's still 34 points out of being in.
Me too.
He's still 34 points out of top 12.
Yeah.
And
There's 2 more races before the chase. We have
Who's in
Atlanta
number
and
11?
Richmond.
her number 12.
Oh, well.
Matt Kenseth is in number 12.
Where's Montoya now?
I don't
Well, he's
know.
still up
somewhere.
there.
He's up
Yeah,
there.
he's still
But
up
Matt
there.
Kenseth is on the bubble,
Yeah.
and Mark Martin ain't that far behind.
Right.
So
The next 2 races are going to be very telling.
he's in the top 12 right now.
Yeah.
But he's hanging on by his skin teeth, whatever his skin teeth are. So that was pretty much the race. I mean, so you had a lot of action. You had, Michael Waltrip getting in.
We had
losing
a
the
red flag
And
because
he
that was
was,
a mess.
he was riding good.
He was. Well, I don't know. I don't know if he was riding good. He was riding around Jeff Gordon.
And he was
But
riding
Jeff
good.
was having a bad race.
Jeff was
so-
having a bad
hey,
night.
but maybe
No.
that made Michael think he was racing really well.
Could be.
No, they said he was racing well.
They did? Well, if they did.
I'm going to push them away.
Okay. Well,
All right,
so do we have anything else to say?
I don't know, but all I'm going to say is Bristol ain't what it used to be.
Ever since
No.
they did that graduated banking or whatever they
No.
did.
What y'all got to say? It ain't what it used to be.
I think the most exciting part was the wave that the crowd did.
Yeah, no, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, and I ain't saying a whole lot.
No, it
That's what I'm
ain't.
thinking.
But so I guess that was pretty much the race. So Kyle Busch wins. Mark Martin finishes second. He probably could have pushed the issue with Kyle, but I think
but he
knew.
raced him clean.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
there was
They all
Marcus
raced each other
Ambrose.
clean except for the Bush brothers.
Dale Jr. I thought had a very good race.
Yes.
Now he should have finished like around 5th, but somehow dropped back towards the when they restarted with 5 laps to go. But Junebug looks like he's finally catching a
I'm
clue.
liking the Lance McGrew connection.
Yeah, so I think that's
And I
working for
love
you.
how he talks to his spotter. That's fun to listen to.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Y'all
all
should
right.
try it sometime.
All right. Okay, well, I think that's about the race. So we're off next weekend because the Cup Series is not racing next weekend.
What
Right.
am I going to do?
Wash, I don't know. And then we go to Hotlanta.
I don't know. What are you going to do?
I have to work that weekend. We're having a
Okay.
big barbecue.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, not me.
All right, so y'all take care. Be sure to catch us at our website at racetrackladies.com. And in the meantime, we'll be
At the track and going green.